You know, for decades, we've been told the same story: eat your veggies, choose the salad, steam your greens, and trust that the produce aisle is your personal health sanctuary. It's a message we've taken to heart, especially as we get a little older, because staying strong and vibrant after 60 feels like the ultimate prize. But what if I told you that some of those very vegetables, the ones you've been diligently incorporating into your diet, might actually be quietly, sneakily raising your risk of a stroke? It's a jarring thought, isn't it? One moment, you're humming a tune, stirring a pot of what you think is a perfectly healthy meal, maybe some sautéed spinach or a vibrant beet salad. The next, a shadow falls. Words might not come out quite right, or perhaps a side of your face feels strangely heavy. It's a scenario no one wants to imagine, especially when you're doing everything right. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 3 so-called health heroes that, while fantastic in their fresh, natural state, can actually turn on you after age 60. We're going to dig into why the danger really spikes once you start reheating those innocent-looking leftovers, and more importantly, I'm going to share some surprisingly simple kitchen tweaks. These aren't drastic diet overhauls, they're smart, practical adjustments that can keep your blood vessels calm, your brain protected, and your peace of mind intact. So stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal not only which vegetables can quietly raise your stroke risk, but also how to fix it with one simple change that could protect your arteries for years to come. And before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and tap the bell icon, so you never miss another science-based tip that keeps you strong, sharp, and thriving after 60. Number 1, spinach and kale, the reheat trap. Alright, let's talk about spinach and kale. They're the darlings of every longevity blog, the poster children for healthy eating, and frankly, they are nutritional powerhouses. But for us seniors, these leafy greens hide a sneaky little switch that gets flipped the moment you decide to reheat them. It's a chemical transformation, and it's one you really need to understand. You see, spinach and kale are packed with natural nitrates. When these greens are fresh, those nitrates are actually fantastic for blood flow. They help your body produce nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes your arteries and keeps things moving smoothly. Think of them as tiny, natural traffic cops for your circulatory system, directing blood where it needs to go. That's the good news. The problem, my friends, starts when you decide to cook a big pot of these greens on Sunday, feeling virtuous about your meal prep, only to spoon the leftovers into plastic containers and zap them in the microwave on Wednesday, or Thursday, or even Tuesday, for that matter. Each time you cook, cool, and then reheat these nitrate-rich vegetables, you're initiating a chemical cascade. First, once cooked and cooled, bacteria, which are naturally present in food and even in our own mouths, get to work. They convert those friendly nitrates into nitrites. Now, nitrites aren't inherently evil, but they're unstable. And here's where the microwave comes in. That quick, intense reheating creates the perfect warm, anaerobic environment for those nitrites to morph into something far more sinister, compounds called nitrosamines. Does that word sound familiar? It should. Nitrosamines are the same family of chemicals that are flagged in cigarette smoke for damaging blood vessel walls. Think about that for a second. The very compounds linked to the vascular damage caused by smoking can be generated in your healthy, reheated spinach. Now, in an aging vascular system, and let's be honest, after 60, our blood vessels have seen a few decades of wear and tear, that extra irritation from nitrosamines can be particularly dangerous. Our arteries naturally lose some of their elasticity over time, they're not as supple as they once were. So, when nitrosamines come along and cause further damage, they can trigger microtears in the delicate lining of your blood vessels. These tiny tears create rough patches where platelets, those little sticky cells in your blood, can start to clump together. And what do platelet clumps form? Blood clots. A clot that forms in the wrong place can break off and ride a direct express train straight to the brain, causing a stroke. It's not just theoretical, either. There was a compelling case report from 2023 out of a Montreal stroke unit. They followed a 71-year-old woman who, in her effort to eat healthily, was consuming reheated creamed spinach 3 times a week. Her MRI scans eventually showed a series of tiny, silent strokes. Initially, these manifested as what she and her family dismissed as senior moments, a bit of forgetfulness, a misplaced word here and there. But tragically, they eventually wound up as full-blown aphasia, the inability to understand or express speech. The link to her dietary habits was striking. So, the takeaway here isn't to abandon spinach or kale entirely. Goodness no. They're still incredibly good for you. The takeaway is to treat them with respect, almost like you would fresh fish, cook what you'll eat now, and skip the doggy bag for later. If you absolutely must batch cook greens for convenience, there's a smart way to do it. Blanch them quickly, then immediately plunge them into an ice bath to stop the cooking process. Drain them well, and freeze them in single-serve flat packs. When you're ready to eat, thaw them under cool running water and then quickly finish them in a hot pan or wok. No microwave reheating, no slow cooker simmering for hours, and absolutely no second chances for those pesky nitrosamines to form. Remember, the goal is to enjoy these incredible vegetables, but to do so wisely, safeguarding your health rather than unknowingly jeopardizing it. Number 2, beets, the pressure spike masquerade. Next up, let's talk about beets. You've probably seen beetroot juice marketed everywhere, especially to weekend warriors looking for an edge in stamina and performance. And it's true, beets are nitrate royalty. They're packed with these compounds, and once you swallow them, special bacteria on your tongue get to work, converting those nitrates into nitric oxide. As we discussed with spinach, nitric oxide is a fantastic molecule. It relaxes your arteries, improving blood flow and even lowering blood pressure. In a younger person, with a robust kidney system, any excess sodium that might come along for the ride is quickly filtered out and leaves the body within a matter of hours. So, for many, beets are a true superfood. But for seniors, the same ruby red pigment that dilates blood vessels can, under certain circumstances, slam dunk your blood pressure right into the danger zone. Here's why: after 60, our kidneys aren't quite as efficient as they used to be. They're slower to dump the sodium load from our bodies. So, when you combine the effect of those relaxed vessels, thanks to nitric oxide, with retained fluid, because your kidneys aren't clearing sodium as quickly, you can create a perfect storm. This combined effect can shoot your systolic pressure, that's the top number in your blood pressure reading, up by 20 points or more before dinner is even over. It's like your body is trying to relieve pressure by dilating vessels, but simultaneously holding onto fluid that increases volume, leading to a dangerous spike. Consider an unpublished observation from a Florida cardiology clinic. They saw 12 patients over 80 who landed in the emergency room with sudden, severe hypertensive spikes. That's a fancy way of saying their blood pressure shot up dramatically, all within 90 minutes of eating a roasted beet and goat cheese salad. The kicker: none of these patients had any prior history of significant blood pressure swings. They were all on mild diuretics, common medications for fluid retention, but even those couldn't keep up with the sudden surge. Their bodies just couldn't handle the rapid changes. So, what's a beet lover to do? You don't have to give up that earthy sweetness entirely. The trick is mindful consumption. Limit your portion to about half a small beet, and only eat it on days when you're not pickling or salting anything else. Think of beets as a special treat, not an everyday staple, especially if you're prone to blood pressure fluctuations. Crucially, always pair your beets with a good source of potassium, like avocado, banana, or even sweet potatoes. Potassium is like sodium's natural antagonist. It helps your body excrete excess sodium and can blunt that potentially dangerous pressure surge. And here's a critical warning: never, ever drink concentrated beet juice before a morning walk or any activity where you might become mildly dehydrated. The dual spike of nitrates from the juice, combined with even slight dehydration, is like stepping on a hidden landmine for stroke risk. Your body is already working harder, your blood volume might be a little lower, and then you hit it with a powerful vasodilator and a potential fluid retention trigger. It's simply too much for an older system to handle gracefully. Enjoy beets, but respect their power. Number 3, pickled vegetables, the sodium ambush. Oh, pickled vegetables. They sit there so innocently, don't they? Crunchy pickled cucumbers, tangy kimchi, savory sauerkraut. We often see them nestled proudly next to grilled fish or as a healthy accent to a meal, praised for their probiotic benefits. But here's the stark reality: Each tablespoon of these seemingly innocuous fermented delights can pour between 180 and 300 milligrams of sodium into your veins. And for arteries that are already stiffening naturally with age, that's not just a splash, it's an ambush. Here's a physiological truth that becomes increasingly relevant after 60, your blood pressure response to salt doubles. What might have caused your systolic pressure to rise by a mere 3 points when you were 40 can now send it soaring by 6 or 7 points. This isn't just about feeling a little bloated, that extra sodium load stresses the inner lining of your arteries, known as the endothelium. This delicate lining is already getting a bit frayed and worn by decades of glycation, a process where sugar molecules bind to proteins and fats, making tissues less flexible. Add a sudden influx of sodium, and you're creating microscopic damage, inflammation, and an environment ripe for plaque formation and blood vessel narrowing. The evidence is compelling. A 2022 meta-analysis, focusing specifically on East Asian seniors, delivered a sobering finding. For every additional 100 grams of pickled vegetables consumed per day, the odds of experiencing a hemorrhagic stroke, a stroke caused by bleeding in the brain, increased by a staggering 14%. This was true even after researchers controlled for overall vegetable intake. It wasn't that they weren't eating enough healthy food, it was the specific type of vegetable and its preparation. The fermentation perks, yes, the probiotics are good, the B vitamins are a bonus, simply can't outweigh the significant vascular insult that comes from that brine. It's a classic case of the good being overshadowed by the potentially dangerous. So, if you crave that tangy crunch, you absolutely don't have to give it up entirely. There are smart ways to enjoy it. The simplest trick? Rinse your pickled veggies under cold water for about 30 seconds. That alone can remove a significant portion, roughly 30%, of the surface salt. It might sound too simple to be effective, but it makes a real difference. Even better, consider swapping in quick pickled versions that you make at home. You can control the sodium content, using half the salt, or even less, and boost the flavor with citrus zest, fresh herbs like dill or parsley, and a touch of vinegar. They'll still deliver that vibrant, palate-waking flavor without waking up a stroke. It's about being deliberate and making small, powerful changes. If any of this feels like I'm talking directly to you, maybe you've got a fridge full of leftover greens that are suddenly looking a little less innocent, or a jar of kimchi with your name on it that's now giving you pause, then please, tap that like button. Just once. It's a simple signal to the algorithm that seniors deserve real deal safety tips, not just glossy, generic food magazine fluff. And if you're planning to tweak your veggie routine today, if you're ready to make these smart changes, then type the word SAFE in the comments below. It's a way to let the community know we're in this together, sharing knowledge and supporting each other on the path to healthier aging. Number 4, garlic, the blood thinner wild card. Alright, let's tackle the elephant in the room, or perhaps, the pungent bulb in the stir-fry. Garlic. Now, technically, it's not a vegetable in the strict botanic sense, it's an herb, a member of the allium family. But let's be honest, it shows up in almost every senior's heart-healthy recipe, from pasta sauces to stir-fries, praised for its myriad health benefits. And for good reason. Garlic is incredibly healthy. But here's the wild card, the crucial caveat: its potent medicinal properties can become a significant risk, especially if you're on certain medications. One crushed clove of garlic, just one, can inhibit platelets from clumping together for up to 4 hours. This is fantastic news if you're trying to prevent a clot in someone not on medication. Garlic contains compounds, most notably allicin, which have natural antiplatelet effects. It's like a mild, natural blood thinner. But this very benefit becomes terrifying if you're already on prescribed anticoagulant medications like warfarin, Coumadin, apixaban, Eliquis, rivaroxaban, Xarelto, or dabigatran, Pradaxa. These medications are designed to thin your blood, precisely to prevent dangerous clots. Adding garlic to the mix, especially in significant amounts, can amplify their effect dramatically. Imagine this scenario: a Nebraska VA study documented 3 separate cases of intracranial bleeds, that's bleeding inside the skull, a type of hemorrhagic stroke, in men over 75. Their common thread? They had all started swallowing 2 cloves of roasted garlic daily, convinced it was boosting their immunity. The bleed often presented subtly at first, maybe just a persistent, unusual headache. Then, a seizure. And ultimately, a life-saving, emergency craniotomy, a major brain surgery. Their INR scores, a measure of how quickly blood clots, had skyrocketed, indicating their blood was dangerously thin. It was a stark reminder that even natural remedies can have powerful, and sometimes perilous, interactions with modern medicine. So, what's the smart approach? If you're on any anticoagulant medication, you simply must treat garlic like medicine. And that means being precise and communicating with your doctor. My recommendation? 1 small clove, 3 times a week maximum. And critically, you need to tell your doctor about this. Your physician or pharmacist needs to know all the supplements, herbs, and even significant dietary changes you're making, so they can adjust your medication dosage accordingly. This isn't a secret you keep, it's vital information for your safety. And here's another crucial point: skip the aged garlic supplements entirely. While they're often marketed as a safer alternative, they're typically concentrated to provide consistent levels of allicin and other active compounds. This concentration means they can turn a mild, dietary blood-thinning effect into something much more potent, effectively a fire hose of anticoagulant activity when combined with your prescription meds. It's simply not worth the risk. Enjoy fresh garlic in moderation, but always with your doctor's knowledge if you're on blood thinners. The reheating rules that matter. We've spent a fair bit of time zeroing in on those tricky nitrosamines that can form when you reheat spinach and kale. But I want to make it clear, the same fundamental chemistry haunts any nitrate-rich vegetable. We're talking about beet greens, arugula, Swiss chard, bok choy, celery, radishes, even turnip tops. Many of these are staples in healthy diets, and rightly so. But the same principle applies. Let's quickly recap the science, because understanding it empowers you to make smarter choices. Once these nitrate-rich vegetables are cooked and then allowed to cool, bacteria, which are everywhere, naturally, begin to convert the harmless nitrates into nitrites. This is the first step. Then, when you introduce heat again, especially the rapid, intense heat of a microwave, you create the perfect conditions for those nitrites to morph into those problematic nitrosamines. It's a warm bath, an ideal environment for that chemical transformation to occur, and it happens more readily than you might think. So, the fix is deceptively simple: cook once, eat once. It's the golden rule for nitrate-rich greens. But I know what you're thinking: I hate waste. I can't just throw away perfectly good leftovers. And you're right, we shouldn't waste food. That's why we need a smarter strategy. Enter the cook, chill, finish cold approach. This is your workaround for those batch-cooked greens. For example, if you steamed a big batch of kale, don't plan to reheat it. Instead, blend yesterday's steamed kale into a vibrant, cold yogurt dip with fresh lemon and dill. The chilly temperature keeps nitrosamine formation asleep, and the acidity of the lemon and yogurt also helps. Or, how about a cold pasta salad featuring chopped, pre-cooked arugula? A chilled beet salad with a vinaigrette? The key is that once they've been cooked, they stay cold if they're not eaten immediately. Another ingenious workaround, one that grandma might have instinctively known, is the power of acid. Splash a good amount of vinegar or citrus juice, lemon, lime, or even orange, on your vegetables right after cooking them. Why? Because the lower pH environment created by the acid significantly slows down bacterial growth and, consequently, the accumulation of nitrites. This means fewer nitrites are available to convert into nitrosamines later. Think about it: grandma's pineapple glazed beets weren't just tasty, they were safer because the acidity of the pineapple helped inhibit that chemical conversion. It's a simple culinary trick with a powerful health benefit. So, embrace the cold and embrace the tang. Putting it all together, a senior safe veggie plate. Okay, so we've delved into the what not to do and the why. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the what to do. How can you construct a senior safe, brain-protective veggie plate that's both delicious and minimizes stroke risk? It's all about smart choices and mindful preparation. Let's map out a day. Breakfast: start your day with a vibrant, nutrient-dense meal. How about half a small roasted beet, diced and chilled? Remember, we're keeping it small and cold. Fold this into a generous serving of potassium-rich Greek yogurt. The potassium is crucial for balancing sodium and supporting blood pressure. Top it off with a sprinkle of walnuts for healthy fats and an extra boost of brain power. This gives you the benefits of beets without the reheat risk or the pressure spike. Lunch: think fresh and raw for your greens. A beautiful spinach salad is perfectly fine, but the key is that the leaves are raw. Gently massage them with a little extra virgin olive oil and toss with some juicy orange segments. No heat, no reheat, no problem. The olive oil helps with nutrient absorption, the orange adds a lovely sweetness and more potassium, and by keeping it raw, you completely bypass the nitrosamine issue. You get all the goodness of spinach without any of the worry. Dinner: time for your cooked greens, but with a crucial modification. Quick sautéed kale or spinach, finished in under 4 minutes. The goal is to cook it quickly and then plate it immediately. And here's the tough love part: any leftovers go straight to the dog bowl, if safe for your pet, of course, or, better yet, the compost. They do not go into the Tupperware for tomorrow. This might feel wasteful at first, but think of it as an investment in your brain health. And for that pickle craving? Satisfy it with 2 rinsed cucumber slices. Remember that quick rinse under cold water to strip away surface sodium. To further balance things out, pair it with a side of sliced banana. This provides another hit of potassium, directly counteracting any residual sodium and supporting healthy blood pressure. Finally, let's talk garlic. Limit your garlic intake to 1 modest clove across the entire day. And here's the non-negotiable rule: if today's pill organizer includes a blood thinner, that clove of garlic gets skipped entirely. Period. No exceptions. It's a small sacrifice for significant safety. If you follow this kind of template, you'll be hitting the American Heart Association's recommended potassium target of around 3,500 mg while keeping your sodium intake well under 1,500 mg. This precise ratio of high potassium to low sodium isn't just a suggestion, it's exactly the dietary pattern that has been shown in robust studies to cut stroke risk by a remarkable 24% in adults over 65. These aren't just random food choices, they're strategic, science-backed decisions for your long-term health. If you're already picturing tomorrow's grocery list, if these insights have sparked a new way of looking at your plate, then do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I drop senior-specific nutrition science, practical tips, and myth-busting wisdom every single week, designed to empower you to live your healthiest life. And trust me, you won't want to miss the next episode, where I reveal 3 fruits that have been shown to drop systolic pressure by an average of 7 points in just 8 weeks. Imagine the impact. And please, share this video with someone you love. Someone who still believes leftovers are harmless, or who might be unknowingly putting themselves at risk. YouTube will send them a gentle nudge, and who knows? You might just be saving their speech centers, their mobility, or even their very future. This knowledge is too important to keep to ourselves. So, there you have it. The truth about some of our most beloved vegetables. It's a powerful reminder that natural doesn't always mean harmless, especially after the 6th decade of life. At this stage, our kidneys slow down, our blood vessels stiffen, and our medications begin to mingle with everyday foods in ways our younger bodies never had to contend with. But this isn't a call to fear your food. Not at all. Spinach, beets, and pickled veggies absolutely still deserve a spot on your plate. They're packed with incredible nutrients. The key, the crucial distinction, is how you consume them. Avoid the reheated, the oversalted, or the supplement distilled versions that can flip from being your friend to becoming a foe. Instead, embrace the simple wisdom: cook once, eat once for your greens. Rinse your pickles thoroughly. Always pair high nitrate foods with potassium sources. And treat garlic with the respect of the potent drug it can become, especially if you're on blood thinners. Do these things, and you'll keep the blood flowing smoothly to your brain, instead of allowing it to pool into a dangerous clot. Here's to enjoying your vegetables, and outsmarting them too, so the only thing that gets deliciously pickled is the cucumber, not your vibrant, healthy future. Stay smart, eat well, and live long.